Hi everyone, my name is Michael Angelo S. Corpus, BTLET 2A, and for today's video, we're gonna talk about these guidelines on the selection of instructional technologies. How important to know this topic? Let us study. Selection of educational technologies describes how pre-service teachers can select technological tools and applications for various experiences and situations they may encounter as a teacher. It will become helpful for us to know what we're gonna do as a future educator. We know that there is a problem when the devices we plan to use in our instruction are more outdated than the personal devices that students carry or use for their daily lives. A problem educators face daily is keeping their lesson innovative and interesting. So that was according to Dan Beck and Terrell 2015. The combination of advances in technology along with the individual needs of each student must be considered when designing and revamping lessons. The characteristic of millennial or students that are significantly different than students from previous generations. Millennials can be described as students who are raised by helicopter parents who tended to hover, overprotect, and coddle. To successfully teach them, there must be revisions to the pedagogies and tools, according to Russo 2013. There is much to consider when selecting educational tools or educational technology, while some of the time your district will choose a set of tools for you to use. There are also often opportunities for teachers to decide on their own that services will best meet your teaching philosophy. Most school districts have upgraded their schools' campuses to their being Wi-Fi enabled, along with having devices like Chromebooks and tablets available for students. Some schools have even received grant money to allow each student to have a device assigned to them individually. Once devices have been selected for use, the security of information and student data is paramount. The student information system utilized by the school should already have security provisions in place. Firewalls and spam blocking technology are some that individual teachers should not have to worry about. If your school or district has not upgraded its technology, then this would be your starting point determining the resources that will affect your ability to implement or embed technology in your plans must be considered. Once technology devices have been selected, the next step would be to consider what type of learning system or application you would like to use, considering what your goal or purpose is important at this point. When we have the selection or when we have the idea or plan on what technology we will use, we're gonna consider what our goal and purpose of the application we use. So continue. Understanding your own ability levels and how you may access these tools effectively is what educators must be focused on. If the district has a grade book or LMS that they have mandated that everyone use, this would be a starting point. The emergence and increasing use of tablet technologies and applications are changing the work of teacher educators. This change calls for the needs to have tools to guide educators in the direction that will aid their intentions. So, our topic is the guidelines on the selection, use, and evaluation of instructional technologies, but my part is to discuss the guidelines on the selection only. For the selection or guidelines on the selection on the instructional technologies that we will use in our teaching strategies. So what is the importance of the careful selection on the instructional technologies that we will use. Choosing the right tool also includes choosing software that respects students' data, privacy, and takes sufficient security precautions to put parents and school officials to ease. The test is providing personalized learning coupled with the right software which meets students' needs. Relevant laws that protect student privacy are also vital in the selection process. This section addresses some of the primary concerns to consider when selecting educational technology. First, tool selection. The accessibility of the technology tools and apps can be overwhelming for any teacher to use. Picking the right app or tool that your students can easily navigate while driving home lessons objectives. When the students use an application, we must consider that if that application drives the lesson objectives of your plan. When you are selecting a tool, take into consideration the following items. So first, start small. What do we mean by that? Trying to get a handle of too many technologies causes unnecessary stress. Learning a digital instrument takes time, and applying it as a part of the lesson can range from an hour to a couple of days. Knowing if it will work smoothly during the classroom session, you must also provide secure and specific directions that you go over, demonstrate, and have availability all semester or grading. Having clear instruction that you review, model, and have available all semester is helpful. Second, focus on your goals. It can be tempting to get caught up in the list of features a technology tool provides and miss determining whether or not the educational goal will be met through its use. Choose a few tools at a time and try them out. Give them a test run to see which are the best or the easiest to learn and use. Read the reviews to gauge whether they met the basic needs, other customers, and how likely will the product align your goals or lesson goals. So in Google Play Store, there are many apps, and when we pick an application, there we can see the reviews, the comments, and the ratings of that application, enable for us to have an information about that application if it met our lesson objectives. So let us continue. Third, assess what you have. Take stock of the technology available in your class and on your campus. Knowing the technology capabilities determines in what capacity the app is useful. Also, you should find out what websites and applications your students used in the past. Be mindful of the direct firewalls, therefore, check ahead if the technology is capable. Consider the implications of whether or not to pay. As a teacher, the excitement of a new tool and possibilities of enhancing your lesson is overpowering. Getting clear on how you intend to pay for them is crucial. Questions to ask yourself include, are you willing to pay or go the free route? Because there are applications that we need to pay if able for us to use the premium version of it. And there are free applications we can use also. How does the company make their money and stay sustainable? When they give their tool away from free, is there a potential for our students' data to be the produce that is being bought and sold? And fourth or fifth, revise and reflect. Go back to your goals and reflect on how well has the tool fulfilled your needs. So we need to revise or reflect on our tools that we are recently used in our studies or teaching? How long and often is the app used? Do any problem arise while using the new technology or application? Remember this rule. If it is not working well enough, you can pick another application. Determine how it will be paid for. This reflection can reinforce the digital divide if we do not think carefully about who will bear the cost. This section provides guidance on selecting technology. Sometimes it can help to hear from someone's individual experiences. We have example for you. In this final part of the chapter, Elizabeth Reyes Aquituno shares her story of choosing tools that best fit her needs throughout the various roles in education she has held. So, the name mentioned earlier is one of the author of this reference. So, she is Elizabeth Reyes Aquituno. So, therefore, the selection of tools may seem like a difficult process at first glance. However, when you take into consideration the hype of the tool privacy and the legal ramifications you may have using a tool, take a deep breath and start small and determine whether the tool you are selecting will achieve the goals you have for using it in your classroom. By utilizing the steps of selecting the tools discussed in this chapter, you will be trying the best tools for your classroom that are available. Also, you will more likely implement and keep the tools you select. Therefore, take your time, go through the steps discussed in this chapter, and you will have plenty of powerful tools to utilize in your classroom. So, that is my part. Let us, my partner, continue our discussion. Thank you for listening.